All right, chat. It is that time. This is the final episode of our playthrough of the Soul Reaver 1 and Soul Reaver 2 remasters. We have a lot going on. This episode's a little bit longer because I wanted to finish off with this episode so we can start on to the next game that we're going to have a series of. But the whole combination is going to come in. We got a lot of story to get through, a couple puzzles, and of course, our final boss fight with, our big twist. So, hope you guys enjoy this video. Drop a like if you do. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Let's jump in. Check it out.
I had no choice but to act purely on blind faith. There was no way to tell what error this device was tuned to, and I had neither the knowledge nor the means to set the machine myself. I hesitated only briefly. Then, throwing the switch, I hurled myself into oblivion and relinquished my will to the hand of fate.
He means that really because he has no idea what time that chamber was set for, and he doesn't know how to operate it. He just knows how to turn it on. All right, let us see where we are. I'm not gonna lie, I think I hate this game. The design for the Reaver I like the least. That little it's just like a little stick, all super skinny and whatnot. The best design is definitely in the third game. The Reaver looks crazy.
Beyond all hope and against all probability, it seemed that the device had unerringly delivered me to the era I sought.
Yes, sir.
For these were Sarafan banners, and these vampires apparently the victims of their crusade. The coincidence seemed too convenient to naively ascribe to fate. But whether my opportune arrival had been orchestrated by Mobius or some other influence, I didn't know. If Janos Ordrin still lived, I would find him. I was wary of further deception and resolved to tread carefully.
All right, let's get it. So we're basically in the town we wanted, and now we gotta go find Big Daddy Vampire. Yeah, they just stuck vampires on pikes because, why not?
For all the butchery of Mobius's crusade, this massacre was somehow more chilling. The killing fields of the Sarafan betrayed a kind of orderly ruthlessness, the cold-blooded righteousness of the true believer.
It's very Vlad the Impaler style. Now you can imagine little 10-year-old Zeph. I thought I had to fight every single one of these guys. So I sat there for hours just trying to push through all these bad guys over and over again, getting my ass kicked. All right, we made it. Look how pretty it is now.
Journey, I finally stood on the threshold of enlightenment. For here was Janos Ordrin's mountain retreat, intact and unblemished. The upheaval that would one day topple this ancient edifice had not yet occurred. And while I had no certainty that Janos still lived, this scene boded well, for I presumed that the collapse of the retreat must have followed the ancient vampire's demise.
Yes.
There was only one obstacle. How to reach the balcony suspended at that maddening height, so far beyond my reach.
I don't know, fix your wings.
Architecture of winged creatures. The tattered ruins of my wings were of no use. I would need to devise some other means into that mountain.
I wish we could have played as Raziel before his wings got torn. That would have been cool as shit. I face glory mail shit. My opponent says you better hope you a miracle. Oof, that's weird. Looky. All right, guys. So here's the funny story I wanted to tell you guys about. So I had a puzzle in this game, specifically this one, that I could, for the life of me, not figure out. It stumped me for days, and eventually it caused me to stop playing the game altogether because I could not figure out the answers to that puzzle. And that puzzle is actually what we're going to do right now. I know the answer to the puzzle now, but I swear to God, I just could not figure it out. All right, so see eyeball, we have to get that cup, but check it out. All right, so now that we have the dark room, we can blind the eyeball. Let's blind the eyeball. There's a cup. Grab this. All right, first step's done. I promise this wasn't the part I was stuck at. This was the easy part. Isn't that crazy? Making a bridge out of blood. All right, so this is the part where I got stuck.
The mountain's interior was hollow, I discovered, and graced with soaring architecture unique to its creators. As with the outer facade, these balconies and galleries could only be reached by those gifted with flight. With only my ruined wings to carry me, this towering labyrinth seemed impassable. The object of my quest lay just beyond my grasp. For here, suspended at the apex of the chamber, was the threshold that surely led to the great vampire himself.
Yep.
I didn't know whether Janos Ordrum was the monster depicted in the stronghold, or one of the noble creatures memorialized among the ruins of the ancient vampires. But I didn't care. Demon or angel, he alone held the key to my destiny.
I do want you guys to try and see if you can figure out the puzzle before I do it. I'm gonna slow it down. All right. So here's the clue. I'll give you guys the context clues I had. First off, we got a light forest here, font here. So bam, we got a light Reaver. Just like we need the dark Reaver to get past the last puzzle, we need the light Reaver to get past this puzzle. So see, and then you have the light symbols right there. So it's like, okay, I definitely need the light Reaver. Got the cup over here. Blood pool there. Now this is where we're supposed to bring the cup to open the door. We can kind of cheat and go around it. There's a bad guy over here. We're gonna kill him. Any ideas, guys, what we're supposed to do? It's all right. We are on a time limit, so I'm just going to show you guys. So there's no way to know this because they do not do this mechanic any other time in the entire game. But basically, you have to shoot through both of them at the same time. And I just, for the life of me, could not figure that out. Granted, this is little 10-year-old Zapkel. But still, man, it was so frustrating. A friend of mine eventually told me after I had given up playing this game for months. So I was so mad at that game. Like I had started it over and over again, thinking I might have missed something on the way. And it's just like, I wanted to see the end of the game. I also didn't realize how close this part is to the end of the game. Here we go. This cutscene's good. I really enjoy this. This might be the second best cutscene in the game, at least for me, just because there's so much information here. Yeah, we're just watching Raziel walk. That's the cutscene, guys.
Janos Audrin. It is heartening after all these years
I love his model.
to hear my name spoken without contempt.
Ah, my boy.
Raziel? My child, what have they done to you?
I have been dragged through hell and back. All it seems to reach this moment. I don't yet know why.
For thousands of years I have waited, alone here, losing faith.
He's old. He's real old.
At the time of the binding, 9 guardians were called to serve the pillars, and I was summoned as the 10th guardian, the keeper of the Reaver, the weapon of our salvation. Over time, our race died out, until I alone remained, sustained only by my obligation to you and by my guardianship of the blade.
And the other 9? Why did their guardianship not sustain them?
I don't know. As our race dwindled, the humans prospered.
All right, this is a big deal right here.
I have watched over the centuries as our history faded into myth and finally receded altogether. The humans have forgotten us entirely and claimed the pillars for themselves, wholly ignorant of their true purpose.
So we've been seeing the murals of this all throughout the game. The vampires, the original vampires, are what made the pillars. The pillars belong to vampires. They're not supposed to be with human guardians.
To them, I am merely a devil, the origin of their vampire plague.
Why would the pillars summon human guardians then if they are meant to be served by vampires?
The pillars choose their guardians from birth, Raziel, and vampires are no longer born.
So the full curse, they're going to go into a little bit more detail about it, from their enemy race, made the original vampires immortal, gave them the bloodlust, but it also made them sterile. So they couldn't ever conceive, which means there could never be new guardians for the pillars because vampires are never born.
This is the crux of our dilemma. And this is the terrible irony. With their vampire purge, the members of the Circle have assaulted the very architects of the pillars they are sworn to protect. They have embarked on a treacherous path. With every vampire they kill, the humans are slitting their own throats. They know I'm up here, beyond their reach, and it terrifies them.
Don't you love how it's showing the hole that we made?
You can see how they flaunt their kills to torment me, or perhaps simply to lure me out. They have this foolish notion that destroying me will somehow topple our entire bloodline. Thankfully, we're not that fragile.
I've seen them mustering their forces in the village below.
Yes. I don't know what they're plotting, but I fear our time may be bitterly short.
Mankind seems to have brought you only torment and grief. You must hate them.
They fear what they don't understand, and they despise what they fear. But no, I do not hate them.
Is he such a nice guy?
Vorador does.
He has suffered much. He cannot forgive them.
Oh,
Should they be forgiven?
they're gonna show it. They don't show it here in this game. I'm going to say it's the next game they show it. Vorador is actually the first human turned vampire, so he's been around a long time, and it was Janos that made him.
They don't understand what they're doing. They are simply unenlightened and vulnerable to manipulation.
So, it's all true then. What Kain and Vorador have told me. I really am some kind of unholy vampire messiah.
Unholy.
Unholy? No. Messiah, perhaps.
Ugh.
I like that word. It smells of martyrdom.
He doesn't want to sacrifice himself.
Your role in this world's destiny is more crucial and more benevolent than you've allowed yourself to believe. Your journey will not be easy. Dark powers are allied against you. But I think you already know this. You appear to have been cruelly tested.
Mm-hmm.
The binding must be secured, Raziel. The pillars are the lock.
And the Reaver is the key.
Yes.
The Reaver is here. Why do I feel nothing?
This is important.
The most
So remember, when we saw the Reaver in, you know, the present, or I guess it's still technically the past, but before, it would cause Raziel to feel displacement. It would cause him to feel vertigo, dizziness, and everything would be vibrating and all crazy. But here, nothing. He feels nothing. That's why he didn't even know the Reaver was here.
formidable weapon ever forged by our swordsmiths. They infused the blade with vampiric energy, empowering the Reaver to drain our enemies of their precious lifeblood.
As Janos presented...
For anybody that doesn't know what lifeblood means, it's basically the last drop of blood where you would die. That's so. This Reaver is supposed to drink the blood of its enemies.
The blade. An inexplicable sense of dread crept over me, more palpable than anything I'd felt before. I was at once horribly repelled by the sword, and yet irresistibly compelled to touch it, to take it up. Please, take it away from me.
Look at this.
I fear you have been followed.
Yep. The whole pathway we created on the way here led all these people in.
You must save yourself, Raziel.
Janos! No!
The 10th Guardian.
My surroundings whirled sickeningly, and I found myself transported safely away from the ambush to an adjacent chamber. Janos had delivered me from the Sarafan, selflessly forfeiting his own safety to preserve my life.
Even though, you know, Raziel can't die.
My newfound mentor would be slaughtered by the very crusaders I had so recently revered. The irony pierced me, and with dawning horror, I realized that I had been duped by Mobius from the beginning. For the Sarafan had simply followed the path I gullibly blazed through this sanctuary, and had arrived bearing Mobius' staff. Thus armed, they had Janos at their mercy. Through the door, I could hear them battling.
So what Raziel meant was, the reason they said that their forces were marshaling in the town below, it's because Mobius had told them that Raziel was going to show up and was going to go to meet Janos, and they just followed the path that he made.
Less than a dozen paces away, but it may as well have been 1,000 miles, for this barrier was sealed by elemental forces I did not possess. It seemed Janos had conveyed me into the heart of the fire shrine. I thought perhaps if I could galvanize the forge and imbue the Reaver in time, I might have a slim chance of saving Janos from his grisly fate.
So this is where we get the Fire Reaver, which is funny because, you know, we had a Fire Reaver in the last game. But like that always made me laugh the way they did that. So here's our next puzzle. We have to use all 3 Reavers to get to the Fire Reaver. All right, let's do this. See the light? But yeah, and also remember Mobius' staff. We had at the beginning. Remember, it shut off the Soul Reaver. For vampires, it just completely incapacitates them. It just activates all of them? Alright, I didn't expect that. I thought it was just gonna be one at a time. I'll take it. Alright, I just gotta make sure when I glide I'm at my max height. Yeah, as long as I go to max height, I should make it just fine. Grab the thing. All right, let's go. Now we wait. All right, let's do this. Now, let's not fuck this up this time. All right, there we go. Come on. All right, easy peasy. All right, see, that wasn't that bad. Oh, there's more. Alrighty then. Harry! I can't see! Easy. First try. Not without purpose too. Laugh for 25 seconds without using an updraft. Oh, that's funny. They had that same one in the last game, but it was like 60 seconds. Let's get it. El Fuego. Literally. Oh shit, there's a save point here too. Alright, do the thing. Give me that. Ancient Flame, I like that. And then look at the statue in the back with the Reaver wrapped in flame.
Plunge the Reaver into that furnace and forge the blade with elemental fire. With the Reaver thus imbued, I was now armed to unlock the elemental barrier and rescue Janos from his executioners.
I remember watching this as a kid, seeing Raziel run like that. I was like, go Raziel, go! Now look at this shit.
Look at his black heart. How it still beats. The fiend intends to bury us alive. Raziel, we must get out of here.
Big reveal.
Remember the sword.
It was Raziel who cut out Janos Ordrin's heart. All the murals of it, of showing it, him rip the heart of darkness out. Yeah, it was Raziel the whole time.
Forgive me. I'm sorry. I failed you.
No, Raziel. Perhaps this was my true purpose. Simply to save your life this once.
While I have taken yours.
Embrace your destiny, Raziel. You must reclaim the Reaver. It was forged for you and you alone. Without it, there is no hope.
All right, so now we gotta get the Reaver back. And I remember that his stronghold was collapsed. It's basically what's happening. It's collapsing.
Away from Janos's body, I was overwhelmed by a sense of self-loathing so deep I could barely contain it. In that instant, I rejected all that I ever was, and embraced the role Janos had safeguarded for me so patiently throughout the centuries. I knew then what I had to do, the task for which I was uniquely prepared.
I like that, uniquely.
Pursue the Sarafan dogs to their loathsome fortress and avenge Janos Ordrin's murder.
Can we appreciate the character development? Remember that when he found out that he was a Sarafan back in the first game, he was just like disgusted that Kain had resurrected a Sarafan priest as a vampire. It was like a slap in the face to what they believed in. But now he's calling them Sarafan dogs because of what they did to a vampire. Character development. I love the writing for this series.
Paid dearly for his treachery, and my Sarafan brethren would reap the horrors they had sown. I would retake the stolen Reaver, which was rightfully mine.
And I love how he just pulls out the fire Reaver.
Finally, when all these debts had been paid, I would reclaim Janos Ordrin's heart from their filthy, unworthy hands. If the heart was truly imbued with the power to restore vampiric unlife, its highest purpose was clear to me. I would restore the heart to Janos, and thus undo the vile crime committed by my abominable former self.
Even the beginning of the game where he saw the statue of himself, he's just like, look at me being celebrated. But now he's saying that, you know, his former self was a piece of shit. Look at the fucking squid. Look, you see how, okay, so they really keep the theme of time travel really strong here. So the Elder God knows our whole journey. Like, he's been watching us the whole time. But if you actually look at his size here, if you remember when we were in the future, he was like reaching up toward the top of the chamber, but now look how small he is. Because this is 500 years, you know, beforehand.
You have failed me, Raziel.
I wonder, Old One, did you truly resurrect me, or were you simply there when I awakened from my torment in the abyss? I suspect you found me merely convenient, dropped in your lair by Kain, indestructible for some reason, a durable and gullible tool for you to manipulate. This one
Bars.
thing I readily admit. I have been used by others time and again, but always I seem to stray from their path. What is it about me, demon, that makes me such an unreliable instrument? Why do I survive one trial after another, on and on, in an endless succession of humiliating deaths and resurrections? It seems there is much more to my destiny and my history than I know. Perhaps more than you know as well.
Bars. Yep, and he just shuts up immediately. There we go.
Guard me, brothers.
And we're in. Oh, that's not the ledge. That's the ledge. You can die now. Come here. Give me that. Bye. Where's the point where shit starts getting crazy? It's coming up soon. Oh, I think this is it. Yep.
Suddenly, and
Here we go.
inexplicably, I discovered the Reaver suspiciously laid across my path. Again, I sensed nothing of that temporal distortion, the peculiar sense of displacement I had felt when I encountered the Reaver in William's chapel. Cornered here with the blade, I suffered the same nameless dread that I had experienced when Janos first presented the Reaver to me.
Dread.
I felt at once repelled by the blade, and yet overwhelmingly compelled to seize it.
Now look,
So, Raziel, we are finally.
remember,
No choice but to confront me now.
his scepter shuts it off.
So foolish
Off
that
his Soul Reaver.
we have business to conclude.
You knew I would lead the Seraphim to Janos, you vile bastard. You've been orchestrating my every move. My destiny is an amusement to you.
It was fun while it lasted. I think not, Raziel. Malik, do not let this creature leave. He poses a danger to the circle. Poor, deluded Raziel. Did you somehow imagine you had the guile to change history on me? I'm the time streamer. I knew your every intention before you did, you imbecile.
All right, that right there. Them calling Malik, that's a huge deal.
Lord Mobius, there is trouble within. The circle is under
Hold
attack.
fast, Malik. This one is the real danger to us.
Now look at this.
What are you trying to concoct here, Mobius?
You toxic creature.
All right, before stuff gets crazy. So the original Blood Omen game starts off with that, what you guys just heard. So that was Vorador attacking the circle, and as he's murdering the circle, they're calling for Malik because Malik's one of their most powerful knights. And Malik doesn't get there to save them, and we never knew why. We just knew that he was late, and because of it, he actually gets punished and cursed. It was because he was here stopping Raziel. So they tied everything that happened in the first game to what's happening here right now. Beautiful writing.
Did you imagine I'd simply allow you to run loose, corrupting everything you encounter?
I admit that I've underestimated you to this point, Mobius. It's a mistake I won't repeat.
Yeah, we have the Soul Reaver now.
Now, Malik, bolt the door.
Using his staff to disable my Wraith Blade, Mobius effectively disarmed me, leaving me with only one choice of weapon. And yet I confess, it was not the lack of options, but blind rage that made me take up the Reaver. In my fury,
Look at it.
it felt as though my hand had acted of its own will. And now, that same hand clutched the hilt with unyielding strength, and I felt a constrained tingling, a remote but palpable sense of longing, as the disabled Wraithblade tried vainly to embrace its physical twin.
So the Wraith Blade is the normal weapon that we have. We can't use it right now because of Mobius' staff. It's going to take a little bit before it comes back. It's trying to coil it into the real blade, but it can't. But now we're just chilling with the Soul Reaver. And now we get to fight with it for a little bit. Oh yeah, this. Ha! Ha! One last little twist.
Come to take your revenge, demon.
Back to hell with you!
I recognize these two as my former brethren, in life as Seraphim, and in unlife as Kain's vampire sons. Melchiah and Zephyr, the weakest of Kain's.
Remember the little brothers we fought in the first game?
These bastards had no idea what future lay in store for them, how they would become the very thing they so despised.
Yep.
The Reaver hummed with ravenous anticipation. Janos had called it a vampiric blade, endowed with the power to drain its victims of their lifeblood. I was eager to see what the Reaver would do to these two.
The voice actor just slays it as Raziel. Now, guys, take a look at my health. I'm gonna sit here and just let him beat me up. The Reaver heals me. Alright, let's actually fight now. Alright, they're not giving me a chance to fight. Alright, you guys are cheating? Like, I can't die, but they're not letting me kill them either. Can you die? There we go. We got one. So that finisher that he just did, the reason he does it like that is because it, well, just watch. There we go. Now we're fucking them up. Now that they can't just poke me over and over again. Come on, Melchiah. It's time to die. Bro, he just... Bullshit, I couldn't see that. Can you stop? He's using power attacks that I can't block and I can't see it. Oh yeah, that. So you see the blade sucking the blood out of them. That's why he's doing that finisher.
Stefan fell before my blade. I felt the Reaver's bloodthirst as keenly as I ever had when I was still a vampire. I could sense the boundary between us dissolving. The Reaver was consumed with my rage, and I was intoxicated by its bloodlust. The blade had a vitalizing effect on me. Physical energy no longer decayed over time, and the wounds inflicted by my foes healed almost instantly. The Reaver had made me invincible.
So remember when he became when he became the Soul Reaver, he stopped the hunger for blood was never there anymore. But now he can feel it because of the Reaver. All right, next.
Have you come to reclaim the monster's black heart?
You'll have to get through us first.
My former brethren, Duma and Rahab, confronted me next. This all seemed so elegantly choreographed. Exhilarated by the Reaver, I was drunk with revelations. I could finally appreciate the delicious irony of Kain's private joke, and I reveled as I colluded with him across the centuries. For it was I who put these bastards in their tomb, thus providing the corpses for Kain to raise as his vampire sons a millennium from now.
Yeah, that's the big joke. Raziel killed the Seraphim versions of him and himself and his brothers. And by doing that, the corpses for Kain to resurrect were there because of him. Okay, Rahab's dead. Okay, I definitely dodged that. Come on, Duma. There we go. Dodge too early. Got him. All right. Next. And this is Terrell, the brother that we did fight.
Get back to the pit you crawled from, demon.
And here at last was my brother Turel, who along with Duma would bear me into the abyss without questioning Kain's command. So dutiful and righteous, even as a vampire. I guess some habits die hard.
Huh.
The vampire Turel had eluded my vengeance. The Sarafan Turel would not.
You could just hear how angry he is, and I love it. Like the voice actors in this game, or these games, did such a good job. Remember, this was done in the 90s. Well, this one was, I think, 2001. Whoa, relax. It's funny that they try to make these like real fights. It's like you can't die anyway. Got him. All right. Oh, see, there's no tomb for William the Just because he hasn't even been born yet. All right, final boss. In quotes. This is good. Last boss.
So, vampire, here we are. You've destroyed my brethren, and now you've come for me.
And I just love that the voice actor is doing both of them.
You'll find I'm not such easy prey. I don't want to kill you, but I will if I must. Return the heart to me, and we can end this now. So, you've come to avenge this filthy parasite and reclaim his foul heart. You're a righteous fiend, aren't you? Apparently I am. No, vampire.
I love that Raziel's in on the joke.
This is where it ends, but you won't be leaving this room. Now, let's finish this. I'll make it mercifully quick. As you did for Janos? No, that beast had eluded us for far too long. It would have been a shame to end him too quickly. It's ironic, really. The great Janos Ordrin turned out to be no challenge at all. Thanks to you.
Oof.
Did you hear his cowardly screams when I tore that black heart out of his carcass?
And now our Raziel's pissed. That was dumb of me. Bitch. We haven't hit him a single time yet. We basically have to counter everything. Alright, we gotta watch out for that. Fuck. Fuck! I saw it the last second. There we go. Got him. Got him again. Why is he trying to fake me? Fuck you. Damn it. Wait for it. Got him. Got him again. Fuck. Just take it slow. I see my dodge should be on point. I'm not blinking. Fuck. Oh, he faked me out hard. Oh, we got him anyway. All right, I'm putting the controller down.
I renounce you.
Blade of Vengeance. He literally killed himself.
And so it ends. My history comes full circle.
Mm-hmm. And then there comes the Wraith Blade.
Sensing its twin, the Wraith Blade uncoiled itself from me.
Completely.
And instead wound lovingly around its former self.
It leaves him.
Its grip loosened, and as the blade left me, its absence chilled me more than its presence ever had. A foreboding sense of emptiness and loss stole over me.
And then look.
A terrible revelation gathered like a storm at the edge of my awareness. With all other foes exhausted, the conjoined blades turned themselves on me, and I realized, finally, why I had sensed nothing when Janos offered me the blade. The Reaver was never forged to be a soul-stealing weapon. the ravenous soul-devouring entity trapped in the blade was, and always had been, me.
So basically, the sword was only ever supposed to drink blood. The reason it was able to devour souls in the future is because Raziel was always meant to be trapped inside of it.
This is why the blade was destroyed when Kain tried to strike me down. The Reaver could not devour its own soul. The paradox shattered the blade. So, this was my terrible destiny. To play out this purgatorial cycle for all eternity.
And now Kain shows up.
I could not bear it. Despair overwhelmed me. You.
Are you enjoying this, Kain?
Don't fight it, Raziel. Give into it.
Was this your destiny for me all along?
Trust me.
See how he still thinks Kane's a douche?
I felt myself weakening, unable to hold on any longer. The Reaver was too strong. The compulsion to simply let go.
Too
Too
great.
great. And then, a growing sense of vertigo and the familiar displacement.
Bam.
The paradoxical moment when my twin soul hovered both outside and inside the Reaver blade. This was the instant, the glimmer of temporal distortion Kain had been counting on all along. This was the edge of the coin.
So you guys remember from the beginning of the game, when there's two Reavers in a single space, they have the ability to basically break fate and allow you to actually change history. So right now, Raziel's soul is both inside the sword and outside the sword.
The minute flicker of probability upon which Kain had gambled everything.
So now he can change Raziel's fate.
Now you are free to reclaim your true destiny, Raziel.
And then this.
Behind Kain's eyes, I could see new memories blooming and dying as history labored to reshuffle itself around this monumental obstruction. And I could see by the dawning horror on his face that perhaps we had strained history too far this time. That by trying to alter my fate, he may have introduced a fatal paradox.
My God. The Hilden. We walked right into their trap. Raziel, Janos must stay dead.
But Kain's warning was lost as I slipped into the spirit realm, too weak to maintain my physical form. And there, waiting for me as always, was the Reaver.
The Wraith Blade.
Blade, my own soul, twinned and bound eternally to me. And I realized that I could never escape my terrible destiny. I had merely postponed it. History abhors a paradox.
And that's the end. What'd y'all think of the end of that? So you guys understand how deep the lore of this goes. So when we, back at the beginning of this, well, the midpoint of this game, where Raziel had the Reaver, and basically the Reaver tried to force him to kill Kain, that was supposed to be how they were supposed to end. Basically, he was supposed to kill Kain with their Soul Reaver, and then the Soul Reaver was supposed to turn on him right there, and that's when he was supposed to get imprisoned. But because he didn't kill Kain, because he was able to change fate with the double Reavers, Kain survived. But it changed history so that Raziel would end up doing what he did and end up being trapped in the Reaver anyway. But now Kain changed his fate, so now the whole timeline's all different. It's funny because like I have a headcanon of why they did it, because the order the games came out with was Blood Omen, which was Kain's original journey, then Soul Reaver 1, then Soul Reaver 2. Then they came out with a Blood Omen 2 after this game, and then they came out with the final game, which was Defiance. I always make the joke that Blood Omen 2 came out after this game because it's supposed to be Kain remembering the enemies that he was talking about, the Hilden, because the Hilden are the main bad guys of Blood Omen 2. But that's like, again, that's getting into a whole lot of lore. That is it for this journey. We managed to last this out for a few weeks. We had a lot of fun with Soul Reaver. It's one of my favorite games. I'm hoping that they remake Blood Omen. That's the rumor going around that there's gonna be a Blood Omen remake. Kain as a protagonist would be fire. He's an absolute badass. But more than anything, I'm hoping we get a remake or a remaster of Defiance, which was one of the best games in the series. And maybe if we get lucky, they'll continue it. That's copium, but you never know. I hope you guys enjoyed the series. Thank you guys, you few that stuck around, and keep an eye out for the next game series we're going to play. If you guys want to me on social media, those links will be down below. That is it from me. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.